LaTeX Studio keeps track of whatever you are doing. All right, now let's go to the algorithm of pseudocodes. I'll click new, I'll save as. I'll just say algorithms. Algorithms, yeah. Okay, I'll just close this, we'll open it back again. Okay, now with algorithms, let me just say this. So with algorithms, you can just get an intro by visiting these two pages. So this is one page which shows how to write algorithms and pseudocodes, and this is another page. So we are going to look at just one or two examples to get you started, and then you can learn on your own, basically. All right, so let's proceed. Let's do this. I'll just get back here. All right. So with pseudocodes or algorithms, again, we are creating a new document. So I'll just say slash document class, square bracket 10pt, article, begin documents, and then end documents. All right, so in between, we are going to create our first pseudocode. Now with pseudocodes, they are numbered. So that means that LaTeX keeps track of the pseudocodes. So that's one thing you should also take notes here. So with pseudocodes, there are packages that you need to use. You need to import these packages first. And once you import them, you will now be able to write your pseudocode. So it's always important to take note of that as well. So let's look at how we are going to write our pseudocodes, and then you proceed. So let's do this now. Okay, so I'll do this now. For pseudocodes, if you are going to do it, you need to import some packages. All right, so one of the packages you need to import is called algorithm. So we say before the begin and then the end document, you put this one there. So we say slash use package. You bring your curly bracket and say algorithm. You need this one here. Then we need a second package. So I say slash use package. And I'll say algorithmic. Now there are other packages which you can use to create your pseudocodes or algorithms. I'm comfortable with these two, and that's why I'm using it. There are others too. So just when you go to the page that I've shown here, I'll leave the links in the description box. You'll find all the packages that LaTeX uses to generate pseudocodes or algorithms. All right, so these are the two. Now, once you are done with this, then you come to your begin document and then your end document. Then in between, you put in your algorithm. That's what it is here. Now, let's look at a simple algorithm here. I think I'll share that. I think I opened that somewhere here. So let's look at this simple algorithm here that we have. Okay. It shows a simple algorithm, which I'm going to also do. I think I'll just minimize and then show it as I type. I think that would be better. Yeah, okay, so this is it. I'll try to see if I can share it side by side. Yeah, this one should work. Okay. Now, if you're going to use the algorithm, the first thing you have to do is to say slash begin, curly brackets, algorithm. All right. And after that, you also have to do what? /end algorithm. You need this. Then in between, so this one opens the algorithm environment, and then you now do the typesetting of the algorithm itself with the algorithmic package. So in between these, then you begin. So we say /begin algorithmic, and I'll indicate one here. So this is just to help me to keep track, or to help LaTeX to keep track and also number the different algorithms. All right. So I'll do this. Also, you need to take note that one here, okay, I made mention is to help LaTeX to keep track. It also tells LaTeX that every line should be numbered. So there's the option 1. So that means every line that we are going to input should be numbered. That's what it means. All right. So you can also use 2 if you want a different behavior, but just check online, you find all the available options. All right. But I use 1 because I usually want all my lines to be numbered. But here you will see that numbers, the lines here are not numbered. So sometimes it's also a matter of choice, it's a matter of preference, but I've decided that I'm going to add it. But if you don't want it, you can just remove. So let's just remove this to make it simple. Let's do it this way. All right. Okay. Now if you add /begin algorithmic, you should also end with /end algorithmic. Let's put it this way. All right. Now let's start. Okay. Let me just make sure everything is fine. Okay. Now we will start. This is the first line. So here I say I, and we have this symbol here. That means we are assigning 10 to I. So this symbol here, we will do it. So what this means, and we also see that this I is a variable. All right. And it's also italicized. All right. So basically, there's also math mode. All right. So what this one says that I should get 10. Okay. So what we have to do is to say /state. Now in pseudocodes, if it's a generic text, a generic procedure, a generic step, then you have to indicate with state. If we also have statement for if, while loops, etc. So if it's like, let's say for the purposes of this tutorial, a generic text, or let's say a generic procedure, just a normal step, then we use /state. So I'll say /state, curly bracket, and I'll say $I. And I'll say /gets 10. I'll close the dollar symbol. I'll close the math mode. So that's what we have. Now let's go to tools, build, and view. And we see it here. Okay, so I gets 10. That's what we have here. All right. Now we are going to expand it. So let's look at it. Let's go to the next line. Here it says if. Now if we say /if, and then we bring our curly brackets, $. I'll say I, work is I /GEQ. So this is greater or equals to 5. This is what we have here. All right. Now I'll close my $sign. Then I'll say, now the then here, then we will look at it. So that's what I'll show. So the then itself, with that one, you don't specify. It will be automatically added if you put in the right information. So if I is this, then this. So that means we have to bring a state slash state $I slash get I minus $1. So we end it there. All right. Now it says else. So in the else statement, it's going to be slash else. And take note that if you bring an if statement, you also have to end with slash end if. Okay, slash end if. It's important to do that, but we will come back to that. Just keep track of what I'm doing. All right, that's what's important. I'll say slash else. Okay, I bring this here. Now let's check how the else is done here. It's here, but here I'm using a different note together. So let's just take note of that. There are different ways of going about this. So in my case, what I'm going to do is to give a slightly different version of this pseudocode here. So here, instead of else and then the if, I'll combine them. So I'll just say slash else if, and I'll say $I slash LEQ $3. Let's just see how it plays out here. So it's supposed to be else. There's not supposed to be any E there. So this becomes it's. Let me just show this again. All right, so we have it here. So the else here is supposed to be else if. Yeah, okay. So we have it here. I'll say slash state $I slash gets I plus $2. Okay, so this first if is true, then this is what should be done. That's the state. Else if the other statement is true, then this is what should be done. All right, that's what we get here. All right, once we are done with this, then we need to end the ifs. So we have slash end if. That's what we have to do here to end it. All right, so now that we are done with this, we can, let's just say tools, build and view first again. And then now let's see what we have here. So notice what we have here. I'll just zoom in a bit. Yes, so there's a slightly modified version of what I did. And so here, because this if here, I just said else if, this whole thing will just end with 1. But if I said else and I brought another if down like this one, then that means I'll have to end this if and then end this if here again. But I chose not to do that, but I use this one here. All right, so the pseudocode, there are ways to also represent it in your own format. But if you have it this way, now, if you are writing a paper, a publication, all right, then it's important to also number your algorithms, your pseudocodes. You need to number them. All right, so here I've given this, but this one to someone who is a beginner, who the person may not know what this means. Is it a math equation, math expression, pseudocode, or what? We don't know. So it's advisable that you add a title or a caption to it, something that will let us know that yes, this is a pseudocode, and we give a title, something that describes it. And so what we can do is to add a caption. So just after the slash begin algorithm, we can say slash caption, just like we did with the table. All right, text, now say pseudocode, or let's say sample pseudocode, something like this. Now I think I'll just enlarge it because we don't need that page again. I'll have something like this, caption. Then I'll run it. So when I run it, I should get this coming up. So it tells us algorithm 1, sample pseudocode. So this becomes much professional. Now in some papers, the algorithms are numbered. And so if you want to number it, then this is where this other option comes in. So this the /begin algorithmic, in a square bracket you put 1 and then you run it. So when you run it, it will start numbering them. Okay, so you see what is up. So now it's becoming clear and clear. So this is a sample pseudocode that we have also created using LaTeX. Now for pseudocodes also, I'm going to have series of tutorials on it. So we are going to look at different pseudocodes available and look at how to implement them or write them in LaTeX. Okay, so these are things I'll be doing. So just make sure to come back to this channel and watch those ones as well. All right, so this is it. So this brings me to the end of the LaTeX tutorial for beginners. We've just looked at an overview, but you should be coming to this channel because I'll be releasing more tutorials on how to use LaTeX to prepare documents and do typesetting. Okay, so that'll be all for this tutorial, and I will see you in the next session.